Part of the forms of getting an idea with inspiration is the ability to sort of enjoy nature. Sometimes it could be walking with a friend, like Sandy and I would do when we would go camping together. Sandy was my fiance, and we had a great time together. And her life on earth brought joy to many people, and that I still remember Sandy every day on her birthday. Another way is basically two people just sharing a moment, whether girlfriends, guy friends, couples, or even music, whatever form, classical, guitar, other forms of music. The main thing is what puts you in a good mood to do an idea, for the idea that you want to do. Maybe you want to do an idea that's contemplating, or maybe you want to do an idea that's causes some action to be done. What setting will put you in that mood? And what happens though is, the thing is, if you're in an area where you can't think, it is good to take a break and just sometimes excuse yourself, say, well, I'm sorry, I can't think here, and come back another time or go to a different area. Many creative people will understand. Which type of media do you like to use? Do you like to use a computer, a laptop? Do you like to use a tablet? Or do you like to use a journal? Actually, I use all three. Part of the reason, most of the time I prefer journal because, well, I mean, I've been keeping diaries since I've been 12 years old, which is back in the mid-70s. And so I'm used to writing, but also the other thing about a journal for me, though, is it allows me to keep my ideas down and keep them flowing, because sometimes with technology you can have issues. The tablets I found out are pretty good at keeping things, but there's still some things that flow better when I write with the pen and paper, or other people prefer writing completely with the computer. I use all three depending on what I'm doing. And also, what do you want to do? Do you want something you can use for the moment? What helps you flowing and writing? Is it digital or non-digital? For the moment, sometimes a notebook is best because I'm in areas where there is an internet, or where there may be limited power available, as in camping, or in other areas I may just be walking, and sometimes I really don't want to carry a lot with me, like a notebook, computer, or a tablet. But whatever works to helps get the creative juicing going, and also to get the ideas down is important, because you can always transfer anything over to a computer for publication for later. Setting: where, when, and why. Where do you wish, when you do write, how do you wish people to perceive your writing? Do you wish people to perceive your writing as an individual, like as reading a book, or going on YouTube, or some other types of video media? Or do you wish to present in front of a live audience, like an open mic? Or even an audience on YouTube, where a group of people will watch, or a group of people will follow through different forms of social media. What happens with me, the setting I don't think about before I write. I normally think about the setting after I write, because when I do write, I think about ideas, write them down, and then later think about where would be a good place to present these ideas. And what happens, part of the reason I do this is because it's important to keep a creative, flowing energy going, and also not to be hindered too much by a mechanical process. Because I mean, when you're creating something new, you're not trying to follow something that's already been creative. So creative first, figure out where it's going to be used later. Another thing what helps too is if you make like excerpts of different poems that you've written. For example, like poems of open mic. One excerpt I like to read, I like to discuss now is what's called Bliss. Bliss. Saturday afternoon, Walmart parking lot. A couple in their SUV. Escaping northern Illinois suburbia. Thinking. A Walmart in what was once a farm field in Wisconsin. Moved to the new suburbia. Looking out in the farm field and the country that they see past the Walmart, and the country that is Wisconsin. Bliss. Another one is the 3 stages of a relationship. What are the 3 stages of a relationship? Some may think it's very much contact, it's very much sexual, sensual. The 3 stages of a relationship are actually sharing a moment together. For example, driving with someone you love up to Baraboo on Highway 12, not taking the interstate, but just taking Highway 12, going through Whitewater, Cambridge, up to Baraboo, up to Devil's Lake State Park, spending 2 weeks camping. The second stage, openness. Being open about what you do and trusting each other when you're apart, as when different couples work in different parts of the country. The third part, sharing and working together. It doesn't mean that you're always going to agree. You will have arguments, but the thing is, you argue to help each other, not to hurt, and afterwards, you grow stronger as a couple. In the book Summer Love, that was written the summer before my fiancée Sandy passed away from cancer, and some of the poems that we both composed at a campsite and in Florida as well, in addition to Wisconsin. The most important part of that time was that during that summer we had a chance to really go as a couple. We were preparing to say our vows in Florida, and we eventually were able to move down to Florida briefly and spend a short time down there before having to come back when Sandy became very ill. And luckily, she was able to be put with her family in Wisconsin. In the fourth book, Spring, Summer Friendships in the State of Things That's Two, talks about 2 cities that are actually like the twin cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, except they're in Wisconsin. It is of Kenosha and Racine. Both cities think that they are different cities and that they are distinct. However, they are twin cities because many people have family in both cities. Many people in a travel between both cities. It is a case where at one time the 2 cities did work together, but when the football leagues were split up in high school, that sort of caused a difference between the 2. But what happens, they really are twin cities, and it is like the cities between Milwaukee and Chicago are really like a series of twin cities: Kenosha, Racine, Kenosha, Zion, Zion, Waukegan, Lake Forest, Evanston. All those basically form like a string of twin cities. And what happens, Spring Summer Friendships is about friends I met in the spring in Racine when I came back to Wisconsin after during the tragic time of Sandy when she was fighting cancer, and and died that year, and who helped me through that. And some are friends I met in Kenosha after I returned to Kenosha from Racine, who helped me as well overcome what happened with Sandy with the cancer. However, the most important thing about writing poems is that in writing is to share an idea, even if it's just limited distribution. Sharing it, writing it down, does help you grow stronger and help you grow as an individual. And thank you. I'd like to thank you for listening to this presentation. And I can always be reached on Twitter at Diana1A. I'm interested in your thoughts, and also many of my books are available through Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Just easy ways, just remember my last name, Kanecki, Kanecki, Diana Kanecki. And I'm hoping to see many of you soon at the next authors events or at NaNoWriMo. Remember, NaNoWriMo starts in the Wisconsin area at the Southwest Library in Kenosha on January 10th from 12:30 to 3:30 on Sundays. Thank you again.